I just hammered him. That is the deer I come in here to kill. Are you freaking kidding me? Right, big buck right here. I smoked him, dude! I wasn't expecting that this morning at all. I get jacked up in this big deer. Right, big buck right here. Oh my gosh! That's a beast of an ape. Can't believe what just happened. I can't believe that. That's so much fun. Ooh, yeah. Let's destroy her. Shot the deer. And then you drop him. Just like that. He was another 12 yards. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lord.
Hi, and welcome to Whitetail Edge. On this episode, we're going to be in Ohio with Cody Griffin from Southern Ohio. Now, y'all know Cody's on the team. You've seen him before. He shot a nice buck with a muzzleloader a couple years ago. But Cody has still never gotten it done on the show with a bow. So I basically told him this year, I was like, Cody, I got to have a bow kill. And he's like, I know, but I keep passing all these bucks, or the neighbor gets them killed, or I'm at a sheep show with my daughters when the buck's walking in front of my camera, or something like that. So I get it. You know, Cody's a family man. That's the stuff that we deal with. You know, we're just everyday guys trying to do this show. So this year, Cody's on a good deer, and he's been hunting hard all season, him and Holden both. And after some good bucks, trying to get it done with a bow. We're getting down to the wire. It's getting to be late season, and Cody's going after it real hard, trying to make this happen. So sit back in your seat and watch as this hunt unfolds here in Ohio.
So going into this year's season, my main focus was to get my younger daughters both their first deer, and my older daughter was on a deer that she called Dude. That she really liked that deer all summer whenever we were getting pictures of it, and that was her main focus, was to try to kill that deer. So Dude was showing up pretty regular in velvet, and then, you know, when he turned hardhorn, he was still there a good bit, but not in the daylight as much. But we hunted him hard early season, trying to get her, you know, it's a really good deer, you know, 135, 140 inch deer, and for a 7-year-old, that would have been an awesome deer. So.
Side eggs, and I believe he's bedded out there, but the Spartan is set up right here 20 yards from us, and he was in front of it this morning. So there's 2 other bucks in here also with him. So it's 3 bucks, yes, 3 other bucks. It's gun season, and we're in here with the bow. Patty wants to kill him with the bow, so.
Unfortunately, you know, we hunted him throughout the whole season, and Addie just never got a chance to put an arrow in him, and we actually never even seen him this year. You know, whenever October rolled around, I really hadn't found a deer that I wanted to hunt yet. I was still trying to find a deer that, you know, I wanted to put my tag on for, you know, this season, because in Ohio you can only kill 1 deer. So my main focus then turned to my twins getting their first deer. a lot of memorable hunts this year with the kids in the ground blind. You know, those redneck gillies really change hunting for us. They're big enough we can get the whole family in there, and we have a lot of fun. So, you have fun tonight? What do you think?
Yeah!
Excited? Killed your first deer? I got Kinsley out, I believe it was November 17th, and we got in the ground blind. We'd worked all day, worked hard, and I told her if she wanted to go hunt, we could go hunt, and she wanted to go to the ground blind. So we went to the redneck, sat in there. We weren't in there 15 minutes, and this 4-point come through, and I asked her if that's the deer she wanted to shoot, and she said it was. So, you know, it's something special to be able to see my daughter, my youngest daughter, be able to harvest her first deer.
Always fun to get my kids involved, and she loves it. So we worked all day, worked hard today, and got everything done.
Well, we made our sheep.
Yeah, we made our sheep too.
That's all.
Yeah. Kinsley's out to shoot a buck. She says she's not shooting a doe, so she's wanting to shoot a buck. Say we're gonna hurry up and get out of here before it gets too late and we spook any deer, so we don't want to blow this spot out. So. Yeah, we'll wait and come back later. So we're gonna get out.
Emily,
Mommy.
what? We're down here. You're gonna keep touching it and shut me up. Tell her.
What?
Tell her. Tell her what happened. Tell her what you did. She's being shy now.
Why are you being shy?
Because she's on the camera. No, you tell her what you did. Did you shoot a big buck?
Yeah.
How big was it?
Get your
You
hand
don't
on
know.
that. It was looked like a 4-point, maybe a 6-point. Kinsley, what do you think? Kinsley. Yeah, what do you think of that, huh?
Here's a 4-point.
Awesome.
I really hadn't found a deer that I was, dead set that I was going to hunt, but I had a pretty good deer all summer long. that I had a history with. I let the deer go last year thinking he was going to blow up this year, and turns out he actually got smaller this year than he did last year. He was the most mature deer I had on camera this year. When he showed up in rut a mile from where I had him in the summer, I decided, you know, this was a deer that I was going to turn my focus to. So I hunted him a few times in a rut, just never could, you know, connect with him, never see him in the daylight. So after rut, he just disappeared, couldn't find him anywhere. And, you know, late season's rolling on and it's getting close to the end of the season, and I'm desperately trying to find this deer. So I elect to go put a Spartan up where I had this deer all summer long, and as luck would have it, he was the first deer that I got pictures of, and I actually got pictures of him in the morning in daylight coming through there. And I had pictures of him that evening in the daylight, and then he was there for all night that night, and then he just disappeared for 5 days. I never had another picture of him. About 5 days later, he showed back up, and he was still at night, you know, no daylight pictures of him. So I elected just to stay completely away from there. And I actually went back to the food source where I was hunting him during rut. There another deer had showed up during late season.
Pray that he just decides to daylight tonight, because I'd really love to get an arrow in this deer. Late season is down to the wire. Muzzleloader season starts Saturday, so I'm wanting to get one on the ground with the prime before muzzleloader season starts. I haven't shot a big deer with a bow since I killed my 190 in 2015, so I have the binoculars tonight, and I can see a long ways, and you never know, might lay eyes on him, at least get a better idea exactly where he's coming from. I got him figured out where he's at, but just figure out exactly which crossing he's using, and should be able to pinpoint him that way and cut him off between bedding and this food here. So we'll see what happens. You never know, he could come walking right through here.
While I was hunting on the food source 2 evenings in a row, I laid eyes on the deer that I was hunting there, and I had him dead to rights one evening, and as luck would have it, he was following 6 does into the cornfield, and one of the does got downwind of us and was alert and ended up spooking him. And we seen him clear up until dark that night, just he never closed the distance where I could get a shot at him. I had him within 80 yards, and I just couldn't get him any closer than that. So the next evening I decided to go back and hunt that deer, and it was a beautiful evening. Started out, I knew it was going to be a good evening, and while I was in the stand, an absolute terrible storm happened, you know, 40-50 mile an hour winds, crazy rain, and I just knew that I wouldn't even see a deer that night.
Well, it's January 11th, and I'm back in the stand, back in here after the big deer we seen the other night. I like to hunt late season, but this isn't the late season that I like to hunt. It's terrible late season weather. 74 degrees today. So January 11th, 74 degrees. It's making it tough, that's for sure. A couple nights ago, I laid eyes on that big deer in here, and it's the first time I've ever seen him. not ideal. It's 74 degrees. Beautiful day whenever we come in here. It cooled down quite a bit because of that rain. Man, it's some nasty wind.
I knew that this cold front was coming through, and the problem was I didn't have a stand set in that location. You know, I had checked this area out where this particular deer was, and it's pretty steep terrain in there, and I felt really comfortable that I could actually get away with setting a stand at the bottom of a tree, and with a bunch of good cover around it. I felt pretty confident that I could get away with that in that area. So that's what I elected to do that night. I was there to hunt. I didn't have very many nights to hunt, and I thought I'm just going to try it, see if I can make it work. It was like the flat the deer would be walking. It was like you would be shooting out of a tree stand at this deer.
I had to stand. What I've done, there's a field up here on top, and I walked to the end of this field. I believe this deer is bedding back in here on my right. So I walked in and I used this contour, this little ridge right behind me. And I dropped over this backside. There's a little bit of a bowl around here. I'm gonna sneak down here and find a tree. There's a flat down here. I got some big time down here in a pile. In front of camera, I got some corn and big time down here. So that deer's been coming in there, but he ain't been daylight. But like I said, I used this terrain to my advantage to get down here. And there's a tree down there. It's got a bunch of beech behind it, a bunch of beech limbs. And I'm gonna take and actually put my stand right at the bottom of that tree.
I'm actually in here after a drop tine deer that I had early season. And I come in here to do a hanging hunt tonight. Well, when I drove to my farm, I thought that I had a set of sticks in there in my garage, but I realized I hung on another set a few weeks ago, so I had a stand but no sticks. But I think it's gonna work out. This hillside's really steep. Right here, it's really steep. And there's a flat down here these deer are traveling. And what I did is I found a tree with the best cover and set the stand right at the bottom of the tree. So I think it's gonna work perfect. I got all kinds of cover around me. It would be like shooting out of a tree stand, so it's not exactly where I want it to be, but I think I'm gonna be able to make this work. I've got all kinds of background cover, and I've got the wind right in my face, and that wind is freezing tonight, so the deer should be up feeding tonight, but we'll see what happens. There's rubs all around me in here. This is a deer that I had all summer long, and I had him early season. Then the cattle come in here and started screwing with everything and ran him out of here. I actually come in to do a hanging hunt to kill him in October, and the cattle had messed everything up and he was gone. I checked the camera before I hung the stand, so I had him on my farm about 3/4 of a mile or better from here in rut 2 different times in the daylight. And he's never showed back up since, and I've been everywhere looking for him. Coyotes are going crazy already. I don't think any of them's in.
And I just happened to glance down, and the deer that I was there to hunt is standing at 30 yards. He had just come up over the bank, and he's standing at 30 yards staring straight through me. He didn't act spook, nothing, so he kept working his way in, and I was fortunate enough I was able to get drawn on him.
Are you kidding me? Thank you, Lord. Oh my God. What did I just do? Dude, I can't. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. My knock didn't light up, but I just hammered him. That is the deer I come in here to kill. Are you freaking kidding me? I cannot believe it, man. Just, oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, I'm freezing, absolutely freezing, and I just self-filmed from the freaking ground a 5.5-year-old stud. When I first seen him, he is, oh my gosh, I can't even talk right now.
I just sat there for a little bit, waited, and I elected just to back out. I didn't even go look for the air, didn't look for nothing. I just gathered my stuff, backed out, went and had dinner with the family, and decided just to wait until the next morning just to play it safe.
Here we go. I'm gonna go recover this deer. We reviewed the footage last night, and the hit was just a little bit high, but he's dead. Guaranteed. I was real steep angle like that, and I actually didn't know it, but whenever we started reviewing the footage on the computer, he actually went down there like 30 yards, and he was behind a big beech tree for me. I couldn't see him, and he flickered his tail there, and you could kind of see him like go, look like he went down right there. So I'm confident he's dead. We're gonna go in here. It snowed overnight, just a little skiff, so blood's probably gonna be minimal, but we're gonna go in and see if we can't find him. I'm pretty confident he ain't gonna be too far away.
just a cool old deer, a lot of character to him, and definitely blessed. This season's been a rough one, and I couldn't be any happier with an old mature deer like this. And I was sitting here taking pictures, and I, was feeling around on him here. I was actually brushing his hair, and I felt something hard. I'm pretty sure that there's a rifle bullet right here in the back of his shoulder, so I can't believe where it's at that it wouldn't have killed him. But when I skin him out, I'm gonna figure out what that is. But it just shows you how tough these old deer are, because that right there should have dropped him where it's at. So, but no, it's just a cool old deer. That might be where the character come from. I don't know, because last year he was just a slick 10. He was a 145 inch, 150 inch 10 point last year. So he really hasn't changed much. Just added this little character point here. So I'm tickled to death with him. Definitely a good end of the season. January 19th from the ground. It'll be a day I don't ever forget. I know that. So one of the big benefits of using the Big Tine, late season, is the protein in the Big Tine, refuels these deer after they run the rut. And that's what this deer was doing in this case. Is it was coming in, feeding on the Big Tine, getting himself back in shape after the winter.
So one thing we want to talk about on the educational side of this hunt is how, Cody was using his Spartan Ghost Cams, to be very effective in trying to locate this deer. So this is like great information to understand about these bucks. They're going to move, they're going to travel, they're going to do their things at different times of the year. But a lot of times they're going to end back up where you found them. If you haven't started watching us on Mossy Oak Go, download that app, check it out. There's a lot of great hunting content there. You could be watching us on YouTube. You can subscribe there. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Engage with us. Hopefully you guys will like our content. And if you've just found us, we live a lot of different places, but our main situation where we live right now is Mossy Oak Go. Hey, thanks for watching Whitetail Edge. Catch us right back here next week for another episode.